So, I was invited to come and share some thoughts, reflections about campaigning. I know this is a serious group. This is a group of women, and I see we have one man too, of people who have either already made the decision to run for office, they're thinking about running for office, or they're thinking about supporting someone who's running for office. So let's not forget those of us in this room that might want to be an advocate on behalf of a candidate, and you want to know how to assemble that campaign or how to be of best service to that person. So the decision to run for office is not a light decision. And all my comments to you this morning are real. I'm not talking about something that happens over here that's abstract. I ran twice for the Los Angeles City Council, so I speak to you today with firsthand knowledge and emotion about what you have to do in order to run a successful campaign. I speak to you on behalf of my working with other candidates for years on campaigns, what works, what doesn't work. For those of you, who in this room, I'm just curious, have already pulled papers and are already a declared candidate? 1, 2, okay.
Good.
So you're in it. You're already in it. I would imagine that the rest of you are here to find out if you feel that you're ready. I'm telling you right now, you're ready. You're here at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you're committed, you're ready, okay? Don't let anybody tell you that you have to study more, that you have to gear up more.
Yeah.
Don't buy into that argument, and no offense to our wonderful gentlemen in the room, but men wake up and they say, I'm gonna run for city council, or even better, you could be Donald Trump, I'm gonna run for president, okay, no formal training, I'm just gonna go for it. All right, there's no reason why you can't embrace that same spirit, okay? Everything that has led you to today is all you need to have to run a successful campaign. But you need to be smart about it, and you need to be equipped with the tools to be successful. I know we have elected officials in the room. I mean, they will stand up and tell you too. Once you make that commitment and you're in it, it's about surrounding yourself with people who are going to support you on that journey. Do not spend your energy and time with naysayers, because everybody's going to try and knock you down. There are going to be community groups out there that are going to fight you, that are going to put up, and now with the internet, they're going to put up false statements about, you cannot listen to that noise, okay? I want you all to just take the next 3 hours to focus on you, your narrative, your brand, and the tools that you need to really launch a successful campaign. You've made the decision to run, or you're tinkering with the decision to run. Most of you are involved in your local communities, neighborhood councils, chambers of commerce, Rotary clubs, your schools, your churches, your synagogues. You already have a passion about something, because you wouldn't be sitting here. Something has triggered an emotion in you that you've said, I want to take that experience and the success that I've had at my school or my church or my chamber of commerce, and I want to parlay that into something bigger. It's not about being a policy wonk and knowing every little detail. It's about having a passion to want to make a difference, okay? Your voice is needed at that table, because we have a huge problem, ladies. There are not enough women from water boards all the way to the presidency, as you're witnessing right now, okay?
Right.
We have a vacuum. And unless we start investing in women running now at all local levels of government, who's going to be more qualified to run for president? I don't care what your political party is or who you're supporting, but let's just talk about qualifications. Is there anybody in the pipeline to run for president that's equally as accomplished as Hillary Clinton? There might be a few, but so you got to think about that, and then you got to break it down and break it down. Thank goodness we've got two women running for the state senate to fill, the boxer's seat. But think about all the steps that are, that have to be taken. The groundwork has to be laid. So if you really are committed to having your voice be part of the conversation in terms of legislation, in terms of policies in your communities, you have to get in the game. And again, you're here because something has ignited in you where you've said, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I care about my community. I heard someone was running for the water board, or woman who sits on the Harbor Commission. Something really spoke to you. So what do you do now? You've decided, I'm gonna run. Oh my gosh, do you run outside and scream it, out in the street? Hopefully you do. Hopefully you share it with your family and friends and the people closest to you. But then, once the shock that you've decided to run has had you, and then you sit down and you're like, okay, what have I just done? What have I just done, and where do I go to from here? You must know that there are networks out there to help you get where you need to go. There's infrastructure already in place with organizations like this one that are putting on this morning program, organizations like National Women's Political Caucus. They all offer trainings. They all offer women who have been there before, who can share their stories with you. You are not alone. It is not like you decide to run and you're out there on an island. But you do need to be smart about the decisions that you make, and you need to be realistic. I know we don't want to talk about it, okay? But you can't have a conversation about running for office without talking about the fundraising component. It doesn't work, okay? You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, asking for people to invest in you. And that's what you're doing. You're not asking them to buy a product, you're not peddling your wares. You're saying to these people, I have a passion. I know that my voice is needed at that table to weigh in on the decisions that are important in my community. Please join with me and invest in me so that we can do this together. If you can't say that, and over and over and over, and I mean over and over and over again, then you might want to step back a moment before you get all excited and have that big party, that kickoff party. I'm sure you've all noticed that when a candidate is running, let's say there are 3 to 5 candidates in a race, the local newspaper will do a story, right? How are they listed? They're not listed by their credentials. They're not listed by their incumbency. They're listed by how much money they've raised. Because money is it's a horrible way to really equate someone's value, but it's how it's done. People are able to say, this woman has been able to demonstrate that the community supports her enough that they're willing to put dollars behind her. It sends a really, really strong message. So make a list of every single person in your world and put a dollar amount next to their name. And you need to total that up, and you need to see if you've really built a network to be able to bring those dollars in or raise them. And you need to, that is one of the very, very first things, after you've made that hard decision, that you really need to sit down and spend a lot of time with. This is so important because it will really, it's the launch point to your campaign. You want to come out strong, and you want to be able to demonstrate when those reports are filed and everything gets listed up on your local election sites and in the paper. You don't want to be hanging down there at the bottom, okay? I'm not saying that that's the end of it if you are, but you want to come out strong. You want to say, my community is willing to invest in me. So you need to get serious about the money. You need to get serious about who you are and what your narrative is. What's your story? Why are you running? What's your passion? Why should I vote for you? Why do you stand out? Why are you different from the other 12 candidates in the race? You have to really think about that. I mean, real soul-searching, think about that. Because you're going to have to go out there and in that much time, because everything's about a soundbite, that much time, convey your story, your passion, your reason for running to the audience out there.